Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. My name is Jake, and I'm glad you're here today. In this part of the podcast, we're going to focus on how to move from intermediate to advanced English by using real-life situations. You'll practice expanding simple sentences, describing your day with more detail, improving your vocabulary, and understanding natural spoken English. Get ready to listen, repeat, and actively use English in a more confident and natural way. Now, let's move forward and talk about daily life practice. Because one of the best ways to move from intermediate to advanced is to connect English learning with your everyday routines. When you make English part of your real life, you don't just study it, you live it. And that's exactly what advanced learners do. They don't see English as a subject anymore. They see it as a tool they use to think, communicate, and explore the world. Think about your morning routine for a moment. At the intermediate level, you might know how to say simple things like, I wake up, I brush my teeth, I eat breakfast. But to move toward advanced English, you should expand these sentences, add details, and use natural expressions. For example, instead of saying, I wake up, you can say, I usually wake up around 7, but today I overslept because I stayed up late watching a movie. Do you hear the difference? The second version is more detailed, natural, and advanced. Let's practice together. I'll guide you step by step. Say this with me. I usually wake up around 7. Good. Now expand it. I usually wake up around 7, but today I overslept. Excellent. Now add even more. I usually wake up around 7, but today I overslept because I stayed up late watching a movie. Very nice. This is how you take a simple idea and make it advanced by adding reasons, details, and connections. Now let's talk about conversations during the day. Imagine you meet a friend and they ask, how's your day going? At the intermediate level, you might say, it's fine, or it's good. But an advanced learner gives a richer answer. For example, it's been a pretty busy day so far. I had a meeting in the morning, and now I'm finishing some tasks before lunch. But overall, I feel productive. Do you notice how this sounds fuller and more natural? Here's your turn to practice. I'll ask you the question. How's your day going? How's your day going? Now answer it out loud in English with at least 3 connected sentences. Don't just say, fine. Add some details about what you did, what you're doing, or how you feel. This is how you stretch your English toward the advanced level. Another area where learners often struggle is describing experiences and feelings. At the intermediate level, you might only use basic adjectives like happy, sad, or tired. But advanced learners use a wider variety of expressions. Instead of happy, you could say excited, delighted, or thrilled. Instead of tired, you could say exhausted, drained, or worn out. Instead of sad, you might say disappointed, upset, or heartbroken, depending on the situation. Let's do a vocabulary practice together. I'll give you a basic word and you will try to replace it with a stronger word. Ready? The word is happy. Replace it with another word. Maybe you said excited. Great. Or maybe delighted. Perfect. Now the word is tired. Replace it. Did you say exhausted? Excellent. This kind of practice will help you build a richer vocabulary and sound more advanced in daily conversations. Now let's add a few new advanced level words that you can start using right away. The first word is overwhelming, which describes a very strong feeling or situation. For example, I had an overwhelming amount of work today, but I managed to stay focused. The second word is insightful, which means showing deep understanding. Example, she gave an insightful comment during the discussion that made everyone think. And the third word is rewarding, which describes something that feels satisfying or meaningful. For instance, teaching English online has been a rewarding experience for me. Try to repeat these words and imagine situations where you could use them naturally in conversation. Let's hear a short, advanced-style mini-story using these new words. Yesterday was an overwhelming day because I had many deadlines, but it turned into a rewarding experience. During a meeting, one colleague shared an insightful idea that helped us solve a big problem. By the end of the day, I felt tired but proud of what we achieved together. Notice how these advanced words add depth and emotion to a simple story. Now, let's practice describing an event. Imagine you went to a birthday party yesterday. At the intermediate level, you might say, I went to a birthday party. It was good. I ate cake. But at the advanced level, you would expand it into something like this. Yesterday, I went to a friend's birthday party, and it was really fun. There were about 20 people there, and we played games, ate delicious food, and laughed a lot. My favorite part was when we all sang together. It felt so warm and joyful. Do you see the difference? The advanced version paints a picture, uses more details, and expresses emotions. Here's your exercise now. Describe your last celebration in English. It could be a birthday, a holiday, or even a simple dinner with family. Try to make your description at least 3 to 4 sentences long, and use at least one emotional word, like exciting, peaceful, or joyful. Say it out loud. Now, moving forward, let's focus on listening to natural English in daily life contexts. One challenge for intermediate learners is understanding connected speech. That means when native speakers speak quickly and words blend together. For example, instead of clearly saying, I am going to, many people say, I'm gonna. Instead of, did you eat yet, they might say, jet yet. At first, this feels confusing, but advanced learners get used to it because they practice listening to real speech. Let's practice listening and repeating. I'll give you a natural sentence and you try to repeat it with the same rhythm. Ready? I'm gonna grab something to eat. Do you want to come? Now repeat. Good. Did you notice going to became gonna and want to became wanna? This is how real English sounds in everyday life, and practicing it will help you move toward advanced comprehension. Now, let's do another one. Did you eat yet? When spoken quickly, it sounds like jeet yet. Repeat it with me. Great. These small listening exercises are important because advanced English is not just about vocabulary and grammar, but also about rhythm, pronunciation, and connected speech. Another powerful way to improve from intermediate to advanced is by practicing storytelling. Storytelling combines many skills at once: vocabulary, grammar, fluency, and emotion. And advanced speakers are often good storytellers. So let's practice together. I'll guide you through a short story and then ask you to create your own. Here's my story. Last weekend, I went hiking with a couple of friends. The weather was perfect, sunny, but not too hot. We walked for almost 3 hours, and the view from the top of the hill was incredible. Afterward, we had lunch at a small cafe, and we were all so tired, but also really happy. Now it's your turn. Think of a simple story from your life. Maybe a trip, a fun activity, or even just a walk in the park, and describe it in at least 3 sentences. Try to add details about what happened, how you felt, and what you saw. When you practice telling stories, you are not only improving your English, you are also training yourself to think in English for longer stretches of time. That's the real sign of moving toward advanced fluency. Finally, let's add one more layer: practicing questions. Many intermediate learners can answer questions, but they struggle to ask them naturally. At the advanced level, asking good questions is just as important as answering. Finally, let's add one more layer: practicing questions. Many intermediate learners can answer questions, but they struggle to ask them naturally. At the advanced level, asking good questions is just as important as answering. For example, instead of just saying, "Where do you live?" you could say, "So, where do you live? Is it close to your workplace?" Instead of asking, "Do you like it?" you could say, "How do you feel about living there? Do you enjoy it?" These extra details make the question sound more natural and advanced. Here's your exercise. I'll give you a basic question, and you will make it more advanced by adding detail. The basic question is, "What do you do now?" Expand it. You could say, "So, what do you do? Are you working right now, or are you studying?" Try your own version out loud. This kind of practice not only helps you sound more natural, but also keeps conversations flowing, which is one of the biggest signs of advanced English. Now let's redirect our attention to grammar in real communication, because this is exactly where many intermediate learners tend to plateau. You already understand the core tenses: present, past, and future, yet complex structures can still feel intimidating, and sometimes you may avoid them subconsciously. To progress toward an advanced level, it's essential to integrate these structures seamlessly into your everyday speaking and writing. Let's start with conditionals. At an intermediate stage, learners often rely on the first conditional. If it rains, I will stay home. However, advanced speakers use a wider spectrum of conditionals with flexibility and nuance. For instance, if I had known about the meeting, I would have participated. Or, if I were you, I would consider a different strategy. These forms allow you to express hypothetical situations, subtle regrets, and thoughtful advice with greater precision. Let's practice together. Imagine you didn't prepare for a test and ended up failing. You might say, "If I had prepared properly, I would have passed." Repeat it, and then create your own variation. Excellent! This kind of repetition gradually transforms complex grammar into something intuitive rather than stressful. Now let's move on to relative clauses, which are incredibly powerful tools for making your sentences sound more sophisticated and cohesive. Instead of saying, "I met a man, he is a doctor," you can merge the ideas, "I met a man who is a doctor." Likewise, instead of "I bought a book, it was fascinating," you could say, "I bought a book that was fascinating." These small adjustments elevate your speech and make it flow more naturally. Let's try an example together. Combine these sentences. She lives in New York. She works as a designer. You might say, "She lives in New York, where she works as a designer." Perfect! That's a clear example of how advanced grammar helps your thoughts connect effortlessly. Another essential structure for advanced communication is reported speech. Intermediate learners often repeat words exactly as they hear them, such as, "She said, I am tired." At a more advanced level, you reshape the sentence smoothly. She said that she was tired, or he mentioned that he had already finished the project. Reported speech appears constantly in storytelling, conversations, and even professional discussions. Let's try a quick transformation. Direct speech: "I will call you tomorrow," she said. Reported speech becomes, "She said that she would call me the next day." Say it aloud and notice how natural it sounds. Now, let's shift into fluency drills. Exercises designed to strengthen your ability to think and respond spontaneously. One effective method is the 1-minute talk. Choose any topic, set a timer, and speak continuously without pausing. At first, it may feel overwhelming, but over time, you'll notice that you stop translating in your mind and begin forming ideas directly in English. Let's try a short version now. The topic is my favorite season. For example, "My favorite season is spring because the atmosphere feels fresh and inspiring. I enjoy long walks while the flowers are blooming, and the gentle warmth always lifts my mood. Now it's your turn. Keep speaking, even if your sentences aren't perfect. Fluency grows through consistency. Another valuable fluency exercise is sentence expansion. Begin with a simple statement and gradually enrich it with more detail. For example, I went to the store. Expand it. I went to the store yesterday. Add more context. I went to the store yesterday to buy fresh vegetables. Expand again. I went to the store yesterday to buy fresh vegetables because I wanted to prepare a healthy dinner for my family. Notice how the sentence evolves naturally, becoming more descriptive and expressive. Let's practice together. Start with, I watched a movie. Expand it step by step until it becomes a full, engaging idea. This technique helps advanced learners construct longer sentences without hesitation. Another crucial step toward advanced English is mastering connectors, words such as however, although, meanwhile, in addition, furthermore, and as a result. These connectors allow you to structure ideas logically and sound more articulate. For instance, I planned to go out, however, it started raining unexpectedly, so I decided to stay home. Or, I felt exhausted. Nevertheless, I completed my work because it was important to me. Using connectors demonstrates your ability to express layered thoughts rather than simple statements. Here's a quick exercise. Combine these ideas, I was hungry and I didn't eat lunch. You could say, I was hungry because I had skipped lunch, or, although I was hungry, I decided to wait until dinner. Try creating your own version aloud. Now let's integrate grammar and fluency into a realistic conversation scenario. Imagine you meet a colleague after work. I'll model the dialogue, and then you can adapt it with your own language. Colleague, hey, how was your day? You, it was quite demanding, but I managed to complete everything efficiently. Colleague, that's great. Do you have any plans for the evening? I'm considering going to the gym. Even though I feel slightly tired, I want to remain consistent with my routine. Sounds like a solid plan. I might unwind and watch a movie instead. Now it's your turn to recreate the conversation using your own expressions. Incorporate connectors, expand your answers, and aim for a natural rhythm. Finally, let's talk about mindset, because grammar and vocabulary alone are not enough to reach advanced fluency. What truly drives progress is confidence combined with consistent practice. Accept that mistakes are an inevitable and valuable part of learning. Even highly proficient speakers make errors occasionally, but they continue communicating without hesitation. Let's finish with a small mindset exercise. Say this aloud. Mistakes help me grow. Repeat it again. Mistakes help me grow. And one more time. Mistakes help me grow, and every conversation makes me stronger. When you adopt this perspective, your learning becomes more effective, more resilient, and far more enjoyable. Another step is listening for key words instead of every word. Intermediate learners often get stuck because they try to understand every single word. But advanced learners focus on the most important words in a sentence, usually nouns, verbs, and adjectives, to get the meaning quickly. For example, if someone says, "So basically, after work, I had to rush to the supermarket because we were out of milk and bread, and then I realized I left my wallet at home." You don't need every word. You just need after work, rush, supermarket, no milk and bread, wallet at home. From these key words, you understand the situation. Let's practice. Here's a sentence. Yesterday, I was late for class because the bus broke down on the way, so I had to walk for 20 minutes. The key words are yesterday, late for class, bus broke down, walk 20 minutes. Did you get that? Excellent. Now try to listen again and pick out just the key words yourself. Another powerful listening method is shadowing with emotion. Shadowing means repeating immediately after what you hear. But when you add emotion, you train not only your pronunciation, but also your tone, rhythm, and natural expression. For example, if the speaker sounds excited, you copy the excitement. If they sound tired, you copy the tired tone. This makes your English sound more advanced because you're not just copying words, you're copying the feeling behind them. Let's try this. I'll give you a short dialogue and I want you to shadow it with the same emotion. Speaker A: "Guess what? I finally passed my driving test." Excited tone: "Really? That's amazing! Congratulations!" Happy, supportive tone: "Thank you. I was so nervous, but it worked out in the end." Relieved tone: "Let's also focus on predictive listening, which means guessing what the speaker will say next. This is something advanced listeners do naturally. For example, if someone says, 'I went to the supermarket yesterday and I bought some,' you already expect them to say food or groceries. This skill helps you follow conversations even when you miss a word. Here's an exercise. I'll start a sentence and you try to predict the next word. 'I was so tired yesterday that I went to bed.' Did you predict early? Yes, that's the natural word. Another one. 'The weather was so hot that I needed to drink a lot of water.' Right, perfect. Practicing predictive listening trains your brain to stay active while listening, which is what advanced learners do. Thanks for listening today. Keep practicing and get ready. In the next episodes, we'll explore powerful methods to help you move toward an advanced level. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next.